Next.
Good afternoon. We're the Popes, and we reside here in Homestead. I've been a resident here in Homestead since, birth. I'm having a few problems on my street, and I've called several departments within the department in the city of Homestead, and I'm, by all means, I'm not getting any help. I live on 3rd Street. I've called code enforcement, I've called the police, I've called every department there is, and I'm asking for help. There's a church on the corner of my street that's feeding farm share every Saturday morning. Well, I'm being held hostage in my house every Saturday morning. I live on the cul-de-sac on the dead-end street, and I cannot get out of my house on Saturdays. If I leave early enough before the traffic starts, I can't get into my house on Saturdays afternoon. I've called code enforcement, I've talked to the supervisors there, and no one seems to be listening to me. No one is trying to help me, and it's becoming a problem. It's been for the last 4 months that I have been calling and calling and calling, and no one seems to care, and it's just a problem. I think the church on the corner is doing a great job of what they're doing, but something has to be done to make this go smoothly than to help to hold people in their houses and can't get out to go do things on the weekend that they need to do to take care of their home. After calling code enforcement, you call the police officers. The police officers, when they come, they tell me that they can't do anything because it's not a police matter. Well, if the cars are parking in my yard and they're parking in my carport, that's a problem for me. Because if I try to take matters into my own hands, then I'm gonna go to jail or something's gonna happen, someone is gonna get hurt. I need some help here.
Let me get the manager to, everyone, all the directors are right there.
Yeah, so Mayor, ma'am, if you have the time, what I would suggest we do is have our Assistant City Manager, Kate is here, and we'll have also the Chief of Police and also Joe, would you mind going with them as well? And we'll go to the back room and we'll spend a few minutes understanding your case, and hopefully we can help you tonight.
Okay, well, I have a few other problems over on 3rd Street in Homestead, because this seems to be the tale of 2 different towns and 2 different areas here. The garbage truck, when it comes to pick up garbage, it leaves garbage all over the street. Over in the Villages of Homestead, where my parents live, when they waste garbage, they get out with a broom, they sweep it up, they take the trash away. Well, over in the northwest side where I live at, it's like they just leave it in the middle of the street. And when I come home, I have to go out and I have to pick up the trash that the garbage truck has left in the middle of the road. It's becoming a problem to the homeowners on this side, in the northwest side, where the city is, it seems as though no one cares. The grass is not being cut. No one comes over and pick up paper. I mean, it's sad, because we even have the prisoners come out to do things within our city, and they're not even doing anything. And it's like, what do we do? How do we take care of this problem? Because it's funny that during election time, we get out and we vote. We do what we have to do. But it seems to me the tale of the 2 cities, the Keys Gate, the Villages of Homestead, they're getting treated better than the people on the other side of Chrome Avenue. It's just not working, and somebody has to get up and do something. Who's patrolling the areas? Who's patrolling the supervisors? Because for me to have to take time out of my busy schedule to call and make phone calls, to make them come cut the grass, or to make them, inside, the city has contractors that cut grass everywhere, but over in the northwest side, they're not doing anything. No one is taking care of the people on this side. It's sad. It's unfortunate that these things are happening. And I know that there are budget cuts, and I know that people are not working on Saturdays, but who's running the city on the weekends? What supervisors are supervising the supervisors to make sure that they're doing their jobs?
Well, here's the manager. He's running the city. So let him say something.
Something has to be done. If we can sit here and we can say that these are the people, but I've never seen this man out in our communities. No one is coming out to make sure these things are being taken care of. And it's becoming it's a real problem.
If we can respond, I think in light of some of the comments that first of all, glad to get the directors tonight and try to resolve the issue with you in the church, which we'll do. But in light of some of the other comments you made about nothing is being done, I think I owe it to the directors to at least explain some of the schedule with the maintenance and who's doing what, so that at least everybody understands.
I understand
I
what
think-
you're saying.
And I respect you saying if it's not up to your level of quality, I think that's something we can address. But the idea that nobody's doing anything over there, I think doesn't align with what is happening. So I'd like just a brief moment for the department directors to explain how the Northwest is handled like the rest of the other cities. So
Okay,
why don't
I
we
need to
start
talk to
first?
someone also about the lights, the light bills, because all of the bills are coming. If we don't pay our bills on the first of the month, when our bills come out, we're disconnected, okay? But I can have it where the garbage truck don't pick up on 1 or 2 days, you know, and when you call them and ask them why, you know, they tell me that the truck is broken down, but then you go over in the Villages of Homestead and the truck is running just fine. So I'm not important for my garbage to be picked up, but then yet and still at the beginning of the month, when my bill come out, I have to pay that bill or I'm gonna not have electricity. I have been in my home since 1993. I have never seen someone come out and check the water meter or to check the meter behind my house for my light bills. Yes, I know that they estimate the bills, because there is no way that my bill can be as high as it is with the less amount of people that's in my household now. There's only 1, 2 people there now. And my bill is always the same by 1 penny, either up or 1 penny down. It baffles me that this stuff is going on in the city and no one is taking care of this or watching to find out what the problem is.
Sure. Okay. A couple of things, and thank you for that feedback. First, I think, Julio, do you want to just explain how the maintenance issues work so that we can be clear on the level of service?
Well, in reference to, there were several issues that were brought up here. Let's start with the garbage trucks. We do have supervisors that drive the streets to make sure that they're picked up. However, we can't catch them all, and you know, I'll be the first one to say that you know, when we get a call in that complains about an issue like the one that you raised, we take care of it immediately. That's something that we as the department, is our top priority. So we understand what your complaint is. I'll make sure to address it in terms of what that route is, because we have the city's divided into several routes. There's 12 different routes that are performed in the city. And yeah, sometimes routes get backed up because a truck might come down, etc. But the truck that you're seeing in another route, they're doing their work there. So it's not like they can come and take care of that other issue. So sometimes there are issues that take some time, but usually when we miss a street or a section of the city, we try to take care of it the next day. We tell people, do not put your trash back into the house, leave it there. We'll take care of it the next morning, because there are times when things happen that, you know, that have to be repaired. You know, equipment, they do break down. So, and our guys are working out there at sometimes 12 hours a day to take care of the issues. So now that we know this, I'll make sure to address particularly your concerns. If you can give us your address, you don't have to give it to us now, but you can give it to us later. I'll make sure to send somebody out there to ensure that the issues that we're talking about, that they're not systematic, that there's something that we can solve immediately, because our approach is always the same, is to make sure that we take care of all customers the same way. I mean, there's no, to us, it's a whole city. In terms of the water meters, I'll get with the customer service department to see in reference to, again, who are the routes that are doing there. Our meters are electronic, and they're read with electronic readers. So it's not that our people are actually writing down the numbers. So they are electronically fed into a system that we have and downloaded into a computer program that basically assigns the flow or the usage of the different utilities to the different homes. And again, we'll take a look and see if there might be an issue regarding your particular address
But
that
Mr.
it may
Brayer,
not be
just so I
reading.
understand, the fact that nobody's seen a meter reader there, it's because the meter is being read electronically.
They can do it driving by in a car, so they're not necessarily walking and opening up the lid to manually take the reading down. So those are just some of the things. And
the-
again,
the prisoner one though, Dennis, I
Yeah,
wondered
I think-
if you could address that as well, because I know we specifically assign prisoners to deal with some of the trash issues over there. So I just want to make sure that's also clear.
Yes, I just have to say, like Julio, if you give me your address, the inmates, we have 5 crews. What they do is hit all corridors in the city. And what we also do is mow city properties that are empty lots, which some of them are a lot in the southwest section. We do alleyways there, and we also pick up garbage when we're notified that there's trash in that area and right-of-ways or anything to make sure that the community's clean. Once I get your address, I can make sure that we can see when we go by there and everything.
But most importantly, ma'am, I think the issue here is there's the difference between what we do operationally and what perception is. And I think because you're concerned, we need to figure out, and if you could help us, how do we address some of the perception issues? And so if you wouldn't mind giving us a little time so that we can help understand more about what's creating the perception issues, and also how do we improve service? Because ultimately we are a service organization and we don't look at it as one side of town or the other. We have a map and everybody does the same exact thing. But if in fact we're not doing as good of a job as residents expect, we certainly want to make sure that
And I understand what
that
you're
you're happy
saying, but
customer.
this guy, I know he knows me from calling him a million times
Which guy?
the one on the end,
Dennis?
when he was out on in a white truck, I used to call to have them to come and cut the alleyway next to my house. I've been doing this since '93. No one is consistent with doing anything over on that side of town.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think-
why I'm here tonight.
Okay, well, I tell you what, I don't think we've ever met before. So what I'd love to do is sit down with you and we'll figure out how to make you happier.
Someone has to do something, because I'm not going to stop here. And I don't want to take the next step with trying to make something happen over on the northwest side, because people are not doing what they should be doing over on the northwest side. It's just not fair and it's not right. And I'm listening to everyone say what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. No one is, I don't need for someone to come and do something one day. I need for them to be consistent with what they're doing. So I don't have to take my busy time out of my busy schedule to come here or to make phone calls to get put on hold or transferred to another building because nobody wants to talk about it. No one wants to hear what anyone has to say about what's going on in their community.
Now,
Something
you had
has to
said
be
that
done.
he had called the police. Chief, did you receive a call?
Mr. Manager, let me interrupt just a second, because, there's a lot of detail in this. If we're not answering the phone, if a resident's calling and getting shoved around and pushed around, we need to deal with that. And that's an important question. If she's calling and not being responded to, that's not correct. So we can go on all night about this, and I don't think we should. Can we get your address one more time? And I want Miss Faircloth wanted to be recognized because we didn't get I know it's a third. What was
On 3rd Street, 145 Northwest 3rd Street.
145 Northwest 3rd Street? Okay, let me recognize Miss Faircloth, and then we're going to have to move on. But everybody's here, and we'll make sure that they follow up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Ms.
Thank you, Mayor. Before we close,